In with the Wizards brass and 2 All-Stars, only one backcourt. How fast can they find their flow in Minnesota? Hear from LaMelo Ball in his first press conference. NBA Today starts right now. My goodness, my friends, it feels good to be home. Tim McMahon, Kendrick Perkins, Chiney Ogwumike. I'm Malika Andrews. What did I miss, guys? What's going on?
Well, howdy, Malika. Welcome back to this side of the pond.
It's good to be back.
Well, you were busy hanging out with all those royals over there. In England, we've just been waiting on word from the king.
Waiting on word from LeBron James, and waiting and still waiting. But in the meantime, it's been the summer of LeBron, right? As the NBA world awaits his decision, but he's kept busy. LeBron and his 2016 Cavalier championship team, including our very own Richard Jefferson, they took a little trip abroad for the 10-year anniversary of the iconic 3-1 comeback. Amon Shumpert, he made the trip over there as well. But we can't talk about what LeBron's been up to without a little bit of golf. He's been in Ohio, Pennsylvania, the New York area, and he was across the pond as well, although I think it was Scotland, not London. And this past weekend, he was back in the Big Apple for a Jay-Z concert at Yankee Stadium. I wanted to go to that. I know you did too. And then he's scheduled to be at Fanatics Fest on Thursday for a live podcast episode of Mind the Game here. So LeBron's free agency, it's lasted about 2 weeks so far, making this already the longest free agency of his career when he's switched teams. If history is any guide, when he returned to Cleveland in 2014, the announcement came on July 11th. So Kendrick Perkins, we're bringing it back by popular demand. You have a word of the day on this entire LeBron situation. What is it, my friend?
I do, Malika. And listen, I just realized that school is about to start again in about 3 weeks.
Yeah.
So Bron needs to hurry up. At this point, the word to describe what he's doing is grandstanding.
Ooh.
Grandstanding. I believe that he already knows where he wants to go, but the definition of grandstanding, the act or practice of behaving or performing in a showy way in an attempt to impress others. I believe that he already knows where he wants to go. I believe that LeBron James is in the moment where he wants to feel love. He's loving all the attention. He's loving the phone calls from all the different organizations that want him to come there. He's loving the phone calls from all the other stars and superstars around the league. And rightfully so, because guess what? If I was in this position, damn it, I would be grandstanding as well. But at some point, I want to go on vacation. At some point, I don't want to be on call for when LeBron James make his announcement. Damn it, hurry up. Hurry up.
You might be on call for a couple more days here, Kendrick Perkins, because this has been unspooling since I left a couple of weeks ago. Chiney, LeBron is entering year 24, right? And I think we've talked so much about where he's going to go, what we could possibly be seeing. Enough guessing on that front. What is actually the most valuable skill that he is bringing to his next team now? He's going to turn 42 this season.
So in the spirit of words of the day, I have one particularly for millennials because there was a crazy book and show. The word to describe what LeBron James brings to a squad is he's an anamorph. He's an anamorph, which means he can fit in with any type of basketball. He can fit in with any type of player because he has a skill set that continues to morph to what the team needs to be successful. We saw him last season with the Los Angeles Lakers. He morphed into one of the best, I can't believe we're saying this, third options based off of what we've seen historically in his career.
Yeah.
He was able to play alongside Luka Doncic and Austin Reaves seamlessly. But then in the same year, we saw what happened in Houston. I still have PTSD because he morphed back into a primary option and won them a playoff series just by the skin on his back and on his, chin. So when you think about LeBron James, he has every skill set: passing, basketball IQ, scoring. And so it's almost like that's why he has so many callers, because everyone knows they can use him, especially the championship pedigree.
There's no reason to believe that at 42 years old, turning 42 in December, this man can't average 25 and 5 and be an all-star this season.
Well, yeah, and I ain't got a fancy word because my IQ's not that high, but LeBron's is.
You said it, right? Not us.
LeBron, look, he's still an amazing athlete, especially for his age, but his athleticism has waned a bit, as it tends to happen for guys in his 40s. Basketball IQ is still historically high, wherever he goes,
Right.
that team is going to get a massive boost of know-how, of smarts, of savvy. And that, to me, is the biggest thing that he's going to bring wherever he lands. This is a guy who's been in every situation, who's finished off a ton of playoff series, a ton of games. Whatever team gets him is going to get a whole lot smarter, as I've done, thanks to Perk and Shanae.
Well, there you go. This is what happens when Stanford joins the show. Perk, but to both of these guys' point, right? When you're looking at LeBron James, last year he became a option off ball. He's able to be that second, that third. If you're looking at a team like, I don't know, the Philadelphia 76ers, maybe on any given night he's the second, third option, or he's the 1-2 option. Are you holding up a 4?
I mean, there's a lot of folks who want the ball in Philly.
Sure, exactly. So for Perk, where do you see that best skill fitting?
Well, to be honest with you, when it comes to the regular season, I would love to see LeBron James take a back seat, right? That's why, to me, Cleveland is so perfect for him, because Donovan Mitchell, James Harden, and Evan Mobley could get you through 82 games. Now, when you get to the postseason and you need LeBron to be that dude while still having the pieces around him, that's when LeBron James actually loves to show the world that I still could be a number 1 option. I still could be that floor general. So when you look at this order and you're looking at the betting odds, yes, they have the Cavs number 1 and Golden State number 2, which I believe that should be his top 2 destinations. But if I'm LeBron James, considering that my journey started in Cleveland and looking at their roster and what they did in the conference finals, I'm saying to myself, all they was missing was leadership. All they was missing was what Tim just said, the you know how, right? And LeBron James knows how to get it done. And so when you think about the positive impact that he could have on the mindset of a James Harden, Donovan Mitchell, and especially Evan Mobley, we talk about bringing the dogs out of players. That's what Braun could bring to Cleveland.
Well, but are there more? We've been waiting on this for a while. Are there more options, do you think, from your reporting today than there were when this started, or is this happening because the list is getting more and more whittled down in terms of teams?
The options are about 27 teams. It's been really 6 the whole time. I think it's down to 3. One of the 6, though, the Minnesota Timberwolves, that's the one where there's the cleanest fit. They've got a LeBron-sized hole
at the 4
in their starting lineup at power forward. And so, again, that's the cleanest fit. However, I do fear that if LeBron went to Minnesota with Anthony Edwards, with LaMelo Ball, with all their antics, that beard's already got a lot of gray creeping in. I think by the time they came back to L.A. for the Christmas night matchup, he would look like Santa Claus. It would just be all white.
Well, it takes one to know one, Tim. Let's get to LeBron's former teammate here, Anthony Davis. AD was in Vegas this past week. He was working out with his Wizards team. Now, remember, AD's yet to play a game with Washington. He sustained that left hand injury. It kept him out for the second half of the season. But Wizards general manager Will Dawkins, he spoke with Sirius XM on Davis's future.
DC wants to be in DC. We're going to keep him there. I think the important thing for us is just building on the summer and kind of making sure we're ready to go at the beginning of the year. And he was out here with all of our guys. We had every single one of our team members here for game 1. So we had all 17 guys on the roster here, and he was a big part of what we had going on, working out, leading the group workouts for our veteran players. So it'll be a fun summer. Obviously, we'll have a conversation when we're allowed to officially have a conversation. But
when they're allowed to potentially have a conversation. So he's not August 6th, right? That's when we're talking about an extension being eligible. But it's their own players, so I would imagine that you give an inclination one way or another by now.
And you mentioned that left hand, that healed right after the season and right after they maximized their lottery odds, which they ended up winning and getting AJ DeBonce. But it's fully healed now.
Yeah.
And I can tell you this, he can go like this. Gimme. Pay me. You paid Trae Young. You gave Trae Young essentially a max extension. I just don't know how you look Rich Paul and Anthony Davis in the eye and say, hey, we want you to just hold on. Just wait. We're not ready to extend you. I don't think that conversation would go very well.
Shanae, what's your reaction to this?
Is Washington, it's time to wake up. It's winning time. Finally, please, Lord, because it has been since the last time the Wizards won 50 games, 1979. The last time they won a playoff series, 2017. The last time they were in the playoffs, 2021. It's time to win. And I know that the Eastern Conference right now is an arms race, but when you look at their roster, you need a big three in a different way, especially when you have AJ DeBonza coming in at the literal 3-and-D position that can bring in an influx of accountability and just passion for the game. You have Trae Young, an all NBA type of point guard. He's always up there with scoring and assists. And you potentially have Anthony Davis as a center. We know what he's capable of. This is a solid roster to get wins. So if there's any time to turn things around, it is now, because the Washington Wizards fans, it feels like they've been sleeping for a while. It's a sleeping beauty. Time to wake up. Time to wake up.
Well, it's now for the ownership, too. Yeah, go ahead, Bert.
Yeah. No, what I was going to say was, for Anthony Davis, this is a moment for him to be selfish. Selfish in a way that you want to find a home. Like, if I'm Anthony Davis, I embrace this situation. I would actually go to Rich Paul, his agent, and tell him, I'm not looking to get traded to any other destination. No, I want to be in Washington. I want to show the world that I'm still AD. AD, when healthy, is still a top 10 to top 15 player in this league. He's still a guy that could go out there and is going to give you 25 points, 12 rebounds, and 2 blocks a night. And so, again, AD, I don't want to look at him on the back part of his career and look at him as a journeyman. Like, if he was to get traded and they was to move on from the Wizards and he wanted to go elsewhere, this will be his 14 in the last, year and a half? That's not for Anthony Davis. And so the Wizards, yes, they have to make it right and make sure when August the 6th comes, they pick up their phone and say, we want to extend you. But if I'm Anthony Davis, I'm also putting my foot down and I'm telling Rich Paul that I'm not trying to go anywhere else. I want to be here, and I'm about to make noise here, and I'm about to show the world I'm still AD and that I'm still one of the best in the business.
I mean, that all sounds great, but let's be honest. The reason that he's in Washington is because the Mavericks didn't want to deal with this discussion about he wants an extension. And it's not just that he wants an extension. He wants a massive extension.
Right.
A max or near max type of extension. That's why he went to Washington. That's why there wasn't much of a market for him before the trade deadline last year. And the Wizards didn't have to give up a whole lot to get him. But look, I understand what Perk's saying. And I also am just going to point out, like, front offices don't get forever. And that's why they went ahead and they were aggressive getting AD, getting Trae Young. Last year was a tank year. They finally got some lottery luck. There is real pressure on the front office in Washington to produce a winner right now. And the last thing they need is some kind of black cloud hanging over AD because you can't get on the same page in terms of how he fits for the future financially.
And it becomes more difficult when you see the numbers on the extension that they just gave Trae Young, because I would expect that they're going to offer Anthony Davis some sort of extension. The question is what that number is and if he's happy with it, especially when you just saw your compadre get a huge number. We got a lot to get to on this show, including Austin Reaves. He made a team first move this summer. Dave McMenamin, he explains how it all came together and what it means for Los Angeles' roster building moving forward. Plus, Janae in the W, how cold is Olivia Miles? I mean, she's
Ice cold.
Yeah, she's got the X's and O's behind the rookie since. Continue to follow the developing story of LeBron James' free agency. We're joined by our senior NBA insider, Shams Charania. Shams, it's nice to talk to you stateside. It doesn't seem like a whole lot, though, has changed between when we chatted a couple of weeks ago and now in terms of LeBron James' free agency decision. What's the latest you're hearing on a potential timeline?
Malika, last time me and you shared the screen together, you were out there in Wimbledon, out in London, and we were breaking into a major program to discuss LeBron James deciding to leave the Lakers after 8 years to then play elsewhere for a historic 24th NBA season. At the time, I remember I told you my reporting was Cleveland, Miami, and Golden State were the 3 leaders for him. And now that you're stateside, some things have changed, some things are still the same. Those 3 teams are still in it. The Sixers have since acquired Jaylen Brown. Minnesota, we know, already got LaMelo Ball. They are also 2 of the teams that are involved. But my understanding is right now, as we speak, LeBron James has the information that's needed to make a decision. It's decision time right now for LeBron James. Team presidents, GMs, they're all talking to Rich Paul here again this week. They've made all their pitches. LeBron James has listened to multiple voice notes delivered to him by Rich Paul from other owners and presidents from teams that are trying to give him their best pitch. And the feel is that those 5 teams remain in the mix, but a focus on Cleveland, Miami, and Philadelphia. And he's made it clear he wants to be a part of a team where he has a chance to compete for a championship, a new team environment and culture he can be a part of. But the reason that this is taking so long and why he's able to take his time is this is not a money-driven decision. So you have teams that are offering him minimum deals, exceptions, some salary cap space as well. So he's able to take his time and sift through this decision. But this could be really any day, any week now.
All right, so Cleveland, Miami, and Philadelphia. It seems like we're getting narrowed down here, Shams. I appreciate the insight, and you know that it's getting serious when it elevates from a text message to a voice message. Go enjoy Vegas, my friend. That's not, though, where the game of the night was. The game of the night, it was in Minnesota, with the Mercury taking on the Lynx here. And Kayla McBride and Olivia Miles. What a tandem we are seeing here. Miles steps back, drains the three. Just a nasty move there by Miles. So after that, the Lynx, they trail by 3. So let's go ahead here to the second quarter. Courtney Williams searching, finds Kayla McBride, drains it. McBride is da-da-da-da-da. She's loving it there. And still in the second quarter, during the stoppage of play here, Miles, she notices that there's another job that needs to be done. She needs to take care of a wet spot on the court there, taking matters into her own capable hands. What can't she do? To the fourth quarter, the Lynx down 8. I said, what can't she do? Well, knocking down a 3. It's on the list of things she can. Lynx down 5. And then a minute later, Miles loses the defender again. Guard this woman. When are you going to learn? The Lynx trail by just 2 now. And then Miles gets the handoff. Red hot. 33 points. She was 5 of 8 from 3. Game tied. Kayla McBride for 3. You bet. Great connection there. Shout out to Ryan Rucco. 48 seconds left. Who are you going to find? Miles to McBride in the corner for another 3. McBride had 37 points in this one, and this duo became just the second duo in WNBA history to each score 30 points and make 5 threes.
Generational, you know what I mean? And so competitive. Boys, just one of one, you know, and just watching her go out here and do her thing, continue to learn, continue to grow, and just having a lot of fun, you know? She's still just a kid, and so we just want to keep lifting her up, keep helping her, doing whatever we got to do, but it's just fun to watch right now. I'm a fan.
We're all a fan, Shanae. Olivia Miles has taken the league by storm. What have you seen from her game that's translated so well into the W her rookie season?
All smiles for Olivia Miles. Olivia Miles is Showtime. I stole it from the bottom line of our show in the A block, okay? So I'm going to give credit to Dominique. Give credit where credit is due. Let's break down her game because she's so good as a scorer. We learned this at Notre Dame and TCU. Watch this. Nice pick and roll. She leads the WNBA in pick and roll actions. She creates 7.4 distance to get her step back. That's what she perfected in college and now is showing out in the pros. Again, good little ghost action. She finds, as a passer, she leads the WNBA rookies in passing. She finds K-Mac, who knocks down the 3. K-Mac, by the way, is top 5 all time in made threes. And last but not least, she just has a gift. That's so Raven. She can see the future. And she has a great partner in crime in Natasha Howard, who's having a career year alongside Olivia, the spectacle. Miles, and we say spectacle for a reason because those goggles are great and they also bring out the greatness in her game. Speaking of which, she is number 4 all time when it comes to points per game in WNBA history by a rookie. Look at the company that she's in. She has been a sensation, a revelation. And this is a team that I have to acknowledge when the year started without Nafisa Collier, who was an MVP consideration the last few years. This is a team that I was like, oh, they might struggle without their all-everything player. She has kept them at the top of the WNBA standings, and it's wild to see her perform this well as a rookie.
Yeah, I mean, it's a future I can see. I missed you. But Shanae, just like you and me, dynamic duo, a big part of Miles and her success, it's got to be the play of Kayla McBride as well. And that brings us to today's Inside the Game. It's powered by AWS. Kayla McBride, she ranks 4th in WNBA in gravity, which measures how much attention players draw compared to the spacing on the floor, the prediction of the spacing on the floor. So you can see exactly how she's able to, without Nafisa Collier, help Olivia Miles keep this team afloat and at the top of the standings. I cannot wait to see Olivia Miles, by the way, in the WNBA All-Star Game. But Sunday on ABC, the WNBA season rolls on. We have the Los Angeles Sparks taking on the Dallas Wings. That's at 1 o'clock Eastern. WNBA Countdown tipping things off at 12:30, and you can catch all of the action live or stream it on the ESPN app. And then tomorrow, we will have the WNBA All-Star Draft Show. 2 legends in studio, Cynthia Cooper, Teresa Weatherspoon. They're going to serve as this year's honorary general managers. They will pick their 12 players that are going to suit up on July 25th for the All-Star game. Don't miss it. It's right here on ESPN at 3:30 Eastern. Hey, coming up here on NBA Today, LaMelo Ball, he was introduced to the TWolves pack, whatever you want to call it. You're going to hear what he thinks about teaming up with Anthony Edwards. And Austin Reaves, his new contract, it looks a little different than we originally thought. What changed and how that'll impact this Lakers.
It's going to come in. I know Ant for a minute, so, I mean, we've been talking, just everybody excited, and we ready to get to work.
Did you put a call into LeBron and just say, come on with us?
Yeah, whatever you're thinking.
I mean, they do have sort of the perfect fit for LeBron if that's a decision that he decides to make. But, Perk, you've already deemed that Ant and LaMelo, you've already crowned them the best backcourt in the NBA. But what do you need to see from LaMelo Ball to help the Wolves take a step forward this year?
Well, Malika, you know when it's summertime, it get hot outside, and I get to thinking. And sometimes
and sweating.
The sun fries my brain, and sometimes it enhances
Where
my
are we
brain
going,
to
my
make me
friend?
thinking realistically.
Okay.
And LaMelo Ball is going to impact Anthony Edwards in such a positive way that I got Anthony Edwards as my front runner going into this season as the MVP. Because the one thing that I thought that hurt Anthony Edwards was not having that other playmaker play alongside of him, that other point guard that was going to take the pressure off of Anthony Edwards so he didn't have to do it all, meaning going out there and getting buckets and being the facilitator for that team. I thought at times I saw Anthony Edwards get worn down throughout the course of the game. With LaMelo Ball pushing the pace, being the guy that he is, one of the best assist guys in the league, Anthony Edwards is going to thrive not only in transition, but he's going to thrive off of wide open three-point shots. We saw what LaMelo Ball did for Knippel last year. Anthony Edwards over the last few years has been one of the best three-point shooting guys in the league. Him and LaMelo Ball playing alongside of each other, Anthony Edwards' points is going to go up. I got him as my early front runner for us going into next season to win MVP.
Perk, it's summertime. Your brain is not fried. You are actually on to something.
I'm still like, where was that metaphor going today?
Right? No.
Put it on the sidewalk.
Hey, Perk, I'm picking up what you're putting down because LaMelo Ball, he's such talented. He's so talented as a scorer. Second most made threes last year behind Knippel, ironically, that he has a certain level of gravity to his game so that if he passes, it's going to separate him for a team, especially particularly the Timberwolves here. Look at this. He's a highlight. He can get up in the air, but he finds the shooter in the corner, knocks it down. And then on this next play, you're going to see a ghost screen where 9 times out of 10, this is the maturity of his game. Not just shooting it, going from good to great, making the extra pass. That shooter in the corner is going to be Anthony Edwards, taking pressure off of him. Again, he's so gifted. He's a highlight. He can get downhill. He can hit you with a step back. But the next level, which will absolutely be unlocked because there's pressure when you make, when you acquire a player of this magnitude, it's going to be him making his teammates better and not just getting his own. Yeah. I don't know if I'm going to say Ant is the MVP. Give me a couple more weeks to cook on that. But this is a good duo in the backcourt.
Cook like Perk's brain out in the summer. Perk, you really cracked me up with that one. You really did. But Anthony Edwards has never finished above 7th in MVP voting. So that is a bold statement that you're making. We have been saying for a long time that Ant needs a point guard beside him, and now he is a great one in LaMelo Ball. We've never seen LaMelo, though, in the playoffs. And this, as good as an MVP would be, this is not a team that's measured in regular season success. This is a team that's measured in the postseason.
And look, LaMelo is a great talent. He has not proven to be a great player yet. And I'm just telling you, the perception around the league is that the Charlotte Hornets did a nice job of kind of shining up LaMelo's value and shipping him out as soon as they had an opportunity to get something in return. He was in the same bucket with Ja Morant and with Trae Young last year. These max salary point guards who the perception around the league was they were very available. Now, the Hornets, they were the only one of those 3 teams that were able to get a pick in return. So give them credit there. As talented as LaMelo is, there's still a lot of skepticism around the league that he will be able to stay healthy. He did that last year. He will be able to impact winning. He did that to a certain degree last year, but as you said, it didn't get the Hornets in the playoffs. Now, he's the number 2 for the first time in his career in Minnesota.
Right, and also they did a little bit of load managing of his minutes to make sure that he was healthy enough for the most important point of the season. But what the Timberwolves are hoping, betting on maybe, is that they're going to get that healthiest version of LaMelo Ball in Minnesota. Let's stick in the West and stick with some elite guards here, because we did see another deal finalized this week. Austin Reaves, he signed the most lucrative NBA contract for an undrafted player in NBA history. He's returning to the Lakers, although league sources confirmed to our senior writer Dave McMenamin that he ended up inking a 4-year, $180 million deal instead of the $185 million extension that was originally agreed upon. So here is just a look at how his new contract breaks down, right? His contract increases just over 4% in year 2 rather than the maximum of 8%. And what that does is it gives the Lakers a little bit of breathing room, a little bit of room to exhale next summer. So let's bring in Dave McMenamin, who is live from Las Vegas. Dave, what is the significance of a pay cut here for Austin Reaves?
Well, Malika, certainly it follows the example that's been set by Jalen Brunson in New York, Victor Wembanyama with the San Antonio Spurs. And it also takes away some of the bite of what the Lakers had to give up in order to get Walker Kessler. Obviously, we remember not only did they pay Walker a ton of money to come to the Lakers, but they had to part with so many draft assets to give the Utah Jazz in order to convince them to do the sign and trade. So if things don't look perfect this year, or they don't look exactly like a championship squad should look, this will give them another lever, another maneuver in the summer of 2027 to retrofit their team and have, a significant amount of money to try to attract a free agent to make that team better.
Okay, but things we do know are going to look a little bit different for Los Angeles. The Lakers, they're actually the first team that has back none of their top 5 players in minutes that played from the previous postseason. None of those guys are returning to the team. That's never happened before. You spoke with Austin Reaves. What did he say about the roster turnover? Because he already was, and now even more so, he is cemented as a leader of this group.
Yeah, Malika, Austin said, quote, everybody knows it's going to be a completely different team. Now, if you're talking about a team that's won back-to-back 50-win seasons, do you think you really want a completely different team? That is the question that needs to be answered this upcoming year. Now, of course, he spoke about his close kinship with Luka Doncic. He said he's maybe one of my favorite friends in this entire planet. He said that Walker Kessler is a big, goofy dude who just loves life. They have time together playing for Team USA in the FIBA World Cup a couple of years ago. And then you go on down the line, the Lakers like the kind of maneuverability of these pieces that they brought in. Quentin Grimes plays both ends. Sandro Mamukelashvili plays both ends. They think Colin Sexton can give them some defensive perimeter intensity and also score the ball. The Lakers recognize that losing LeBron James is a major loss, but they're trying to make up for him by committee and also try to become a better defensive team than they were last year.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing, right? There's no question that the Lakers can be offensively dominant, but the questions come on the defensive end. By the way, I see you giving me an homage to my tennis pronunciations with going with Mamu's full name. I appreciate that. Dave, enjoy Las Vegas. Appreciate the time here. Let's just take a look. The Lakers, their win total for the Mavericks. Tim, have you seen enough to believe that the Grizzlies have found their next franchise cornerstone?
Definitely a building block. I mean, big body, definitely got his daddy's frame, but Carlos did not pass the ball like that. That is a PowerPoint forward. Big-time passer who's also going to be able to give you 20 and 10.
I like PowerPoint forward. Next up, Bucks rookie Braden Burries, who has some lofty goals for himself, and he set these right out of the gate.
You're going to gain so much experience in your rookie season. Do you set any specific goals for yourself?
Yeah, I want to try to be an all-star my first year. I want to be in the Rising Stars game. I want to be a first-team all-rookie of the year, and just continue to get better. And I want to be in the playoffs, too.
All right, Perks. So Burries has averaged over 22 points through the 3 Summer League games so far. Are you as high on his potential as he is?
I am, and I believe every single word he said. If he said he want to be in the playoffs, damn it, you better believe him, because he did help Arizona get to the national championship game. And what he is showing the world is that, hey, when y'all talk about Darius Acuff and y'all talk about Darren Peterson, damn it, y'all go start mentioning my name.
Well, we knew about the lottery picks, but might a second rounder be the guy that's turning the most heads as of late? Malik Thomas, the 34th pick out of Arkansas. He dropped 35 to raise his average to 28 points a game, the most of all the players we've seen in Vegas, Shanae. Have we already found the steal of the draft here?
We might have, honestly, and I love when they asked him, what are the Cavs getting? They said that, he said, you're getting my offense, you're getting my defense, you're getting my energy, and you're getting my leadership. Wise beyond years, but most importantly, you like to see the ascension because in Summer League, drop 20, drop 30, drop 35, including 5 threes. So I feel like it's Oprah when it comes to Summer League. You get a star, you get a star, you get a future star. It's been so bright in Vegas.
Well, it's not just the rookies, though, that we have our eyes on, right, Shanae? We're looking at Kawhi Leonard in Vegas because despite not officially being traded yet, he was in the crowd for the Raptors game last night, and he got to see Toronto hang on thanks to a game-saving block by Seth Lundy. And, Tim, I'm guessing seeing Kawhi was more consequential, but the final sequence was as well.
Can we see Adam Silver? Can we see a ruling on the whole aspiration saga? Can we see a conclusion?
Right.
I mean, seriously, like you've got the Clippers kind of twisting in the wind. You've got Brandon Ingram twisting in the wind. The Toronto Raptors, can they go on about their business? You told us at the finals it was going to be about 6 weeks. It's past 6 weeks. Time for the league. Oh, we also have a mural, by the way. Kawhi has not left downtown L.A.
Well,
I'm strolling around. Look, there's some trees planted down there at the bottom. I don't know if those are related to. Do you see the trees? And I think that says, it doesn't say Clippers anymore. It says cursed on the jersey. So I think there's been some vandalism.
I'd
like to report some vandalism.
That is an E or if that's a T that's near the end there. But let's end it with what might go down as the highlight of Summer League, right? Caleb Wilson. Watch him here. Oh, my goodness. I mean, throwing it down all over the Utah Jazz. He might not have gone for 35 like he did the first game out, but this highlight may have been even more impressive than the 7 threes, Perk.
It was. And you know what? He's been, I mean, look at the takeoff. I guess they didn't read the scouting report. The scouting report said he's one of the most athletic guys in the draft.
So, Chene, does this mean that Perk, do you think he's off the hook for being the victim of the greatest thrunk?
He is never off the hook, but let's be real here, Perk. You didn't even read the scouting report. You just went out there and tried to out-muscle people. Summer League is not the time for scouting report. It's the time for statements. And so, yeah, you should have learned from past experience, Perk, to come correct, okay?
Why did our producers, they put an arrow and said Kendrick Perkins, as if we all didn't know that that was Kendrick Perkins over there. Y'all are wrong for that.
Skinny Perk.
I thought we left the pettiness in the regular season.
Perk, I'm back.
I thought
we never
were full
leave the
of joy.
pettiness. You know that. You know that. All right, Chicago fans, they are going to hope to see those types of highlights from Caleb Wilson, and they're hoping that things can turn around here in the Windy City because the Bulls have missed the playoffs 8 of the last 9 seasons, and Chicago, they've made some significant additions this offseason. Of course, most notably the 4th overall pick that we just showed you, Caleb Wilson, but they also signed a 2026 All-Star, Norm Powell, and then they traded for Nick Claxton. So let's bring in Jamal Collier. He just released a story on ESPN.com that details one of the most iconic franchises, how they maybe lost their way and found the roadmap to mediocrity. So Jamal, how exactly is Chicago starting to turn the page here?
Malika, you just showed it. It's Caleb Wilson. And I was there in Vegas in Summer League over the weekend. Maybe no athlete, all the top 4 picks played well, but nobody really had the arena buzzing the way Caleb did. The way he came out on Friday night, hitting more threes in that game than he did his entire college season, following it up with that dunk on Monday. It's Summer League, and people don't like to sort of get too overzealous about that, but the Bulls were really excited about what they saw from Caleb. He gives them a direction they just have not had in really any time in recent memory, especially over the past 6 seasons, when sources told me there was a lot of just misalignment within the organization. People didn't know if they were rebuilding, what are they going for playing tournaments for. They just sort of didn't understand the direction and general goal of the team. Bryson Graham was hired at the end of the season as the new head of basketball operations, and he's really got the building much more aligned. You see the veteran signings that they had about Caleb Wilson moving up in the draft, being the future of this team and being really a foundational piece for them to continue to build on.
Park, what are your expectations for Chicago this upcoming season?
Well, just to show the world that they got foundation and they got culture, something like what we saw from the Charlotte Hornets this season, right? And it starts from the front office. And I just remember Bryson when he was a young pup in New Orleans. Like, I know he's ambitious. He knows the game. He knows what a roster should look like. And he also knows what franchise players look like. And Caleb Wilson is going to be that dude. but I think he found a good balance of franchise guys along with veterans. I think going out and getting Norman Powell on a 2-year deal at the number that he got him at was a huge signing. Also, we know with Josh Giddey, he's a guy every single night that's going to go out there and have you a double-double in points and assists. So they're finally moving in the right direction. I mean, the Chicago Bulls has been over the last, 5 to 6 years or maybe even longer, the Sacramento Kings of the Eastern Conference.
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden, you could,
Well, but no, I'm just saying,
bit.
4 years ago, right? 4 years ago, midway through the season in January, they were the #1 seed in the Eastern Conference. And then they had Lonzo Ball get hurt and everything sort of fell off a cliff. But it seems like that's the magic that they've been saying that they're trying to recapture. And that made it so that they didn't fully jump into a rebuild because they said, hey, look, what about this? What about what we did here? So if you were to boil down, Jamal, what their goals are for this season, what have you been told?
Is that a rebuild? And that's just where the organization has been kind of dancing around, scared to use ever since that Lonzo injury. And Bryson Graham at his intro presser just came out and said it. We are rebuilding. We're about development of their young players, starting with Caleb Wilson, number 15 pick they had as well, Dalen Swain. They've got Noah Senge, who got hurt in his rookie year last year, Matas Buzelis. It's about development. And this team has really chased almost short-term goals over the past few years. Sneaking into the play-in, losing in the play-in tournament for 3 straight years. But even getting some of those vets, like Perk mentioned, with Norm Powell, Nick Claxton, it's about really surrounding the infrastructure with their young players to be able to develop, to be able to grow, and to make sure Caleb's in position to thrive.
Yeah, and they've been a little bit reticent to do that in recent years, and now they're finally taking the plunge. Let's see how quickly they're able to go from rebuilding to building towards a championship and at least playoff team. Jamal, thank you very much. I encourage everyone to read that story on ESPN.com. If you're looking for more hoops, we got you. Summer League, again, tonight on ESPN. The Grizzlies and the Warriors first up at 7 o'clock. And then it's the Nuggets and Timberwolves. That's at 9 o'clock Eastern. Coming up, LeBron's next chapter.